Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On today's video, we are going to put some beech, hopefully, on the mill. And I have to confess, in the 20 years of owning a sawmill, I have never milled beech. So we're going to go in the woods first and see if we can find a good one, cut it down, and bring it to the mill before the monsoons start up again. So come along. So I know what you're thinking as you look around the mill here. You may be saying, hey Troy, instead of running the mill, maybe you ought to cut the grass. And to that I say, yeah, you're right. It won't stop raining. So I literally have about a 3-hour window right now, according to the weatherman, to be able to do anything before it rains again. So yes, while we need to do some weeding around the sawmill and area here, that's not the top of the list right now. I need to get some wood milled. And we'll go up in the woods and I'm going to explain why we need wood right now. All right, so I'm back here on the South Ridge, a little less than halfway back in our valley on 100 acres. But I think I found a little cluster of beech. I've kind of realized the reason why I've never milled beech is I really haven't run into them a lot. The back of the property is where most of my mature beech stand is. And I've got a lot of immature closer to the front of the property where we do a lot of work. And it's just not what I've been running into so far. Beech seem to like, old stand type growth. And then even in this area, this was all back in the 60s, this was all pasture land. So that's why there's just tons of poplar. I mean, basically everything you see behind me is poplar with a little bit of oak and just a little bit of maple. But I think I found one here that we're going to take a look at. So right here, just above my road, is a decent sized beech. You can kind of see the, let me do the old tree hugger thing here. You can kind of see, I'll get my tape and we'll measure a true diameter here in a second, but you can kind of see the size of that. And the neat thing about it is, there's only one small branch. You see that one right there? There's only one small branch, and that's about 12 feet up. And then we go probably go another 8 feet before we reach the main fork. And that's another thing about beech, is they like to fork off quite a bit. And never mind. So it's something that causes less usable wood. If it was poplar, I'd get almost all the way to the top canopy before you get a branch. If it was pine, of course, it would be covered in branches, but we cut all that anyway. And so there's a little stand here. There's actually 3. So this big beech right here, and then 2 smaller ones that I would say are the offspring. So you could say maybe they're sons of a beech. Anyway, so why do I need beech right now when I've got tons of poplar on the ground, even poplar down at the mill? Well, there's a project that we're going to detail here in the next couple weeks. Really exciting project. Those of you who've been on the channel probably know where this is going. But I need to have some beech milled to 4/4, and I need to get it in the barn so it can start drying out. So when we're ready to use it, then hopefully it'll air dry enough that we can take it indoors and use it in an interior application. So let's see if we can get this guy on the ground. I noticed here too, that's kind of what got my attention to stop and look at this beech, was there's a red oak laying on the ground here that fell across my road. And it's a young red oak. And I'll show you what causes these things to come down, other than the high wind, of course. Get out of the way, spider. So this little red oak was just growing here in the woods, doing its thing. And we've had tons and tons of high wind, of course, with the storms and things. So you can see pretty shallow root system. That's the first issue. But really, I think the main culprit here is, There's a spider web in my face. Come on, man. The main culprit here is this, see this grapevine? It's about a 2-inch diameter grapevine, and it's entwined all the way up to the canopy. And what's interesting is, you know, the way trees establish roots, deeper roots, is as the wind blows them back and forth, makes them sway. If they can survive that, then their tap roots, if they have them, will actually kind of pivot a little bit in the ground, and that wallows out the ground a little bit more. That gives them the ability to grow quicker, a deeper tap root. Sometimes here in West Virginia, you don't have that much subsoil, so it goes straight into the bedrock and can't grow a tap root. But when you have that grapevine that grows up around it, it doesn't let it have a natural sway. In fact, what it does, it kind of keeps that canopy from rocking back and forth too much, because it's like a rope's been tied around the top. So as it's trying to do this, and sometimes it just kicks the base out too much. And that's what happened. And that's what's another interesting thing, is this thing fell uphill, which is really rare. Normally they go that way. And you can see this one's laying uphill against my road. All right, well, enough of that. Let's get back on task. All right, so let's check this tree's diameter at chest height here. See what we're dealing with. That's about 17.5-inch diameter, so that'll be a pretty good mill log that we'll get out of this. Real quick, I posted on our community tab on YouTube a picture of my pants with a hole in them that say the chainsaw got them. And many of you guys commented, hey man, chaps will save your life. And I agree. I probably wear my chaps 70 to 80% of the time. Probably should wear it 100, of course. But in this situation that I showed, I didn't explain it well. The hole in my pants isn't here per se. It's right here. So the chaps wouldn't have saved it anyway. What happened is, and this is the other error, is I tend at times not to set my brake after my saw is cycling down. So that's what happened. I made a cut, swung the saw around, or actually I think a limb hit it and kind of pushed it around, so it was just spinning down and grabbed my pants. So that's why hole in the pants, no hole in the leg, all that type of stuff. So yes, I try to wear chaps. You may be saying, well, how come you're not wearing a helmet and hearing protection right now? Helmet, as humid as it is, makes my glasses fog up so badly and I can't see. So to me, sight is more important, to get out of the way versus things that fall. The size limbs that are in this tree, if they fall and hit me in the head, whether I've got a helmet on or not, isn't going to make a difference. In fact, the helmet is just going to allow the EMTs to pick up my brain and put it in a bucket so they can carry it out. We don't want to test that theory, of course. And hearing protection, I enjoy hearing, but I also need to hear what's going on here. With the ear muffs that I have on my steel hearing protection and fall protection stuff, I just can't hear it. I want to hear the tree. I want to hear if it's popping, if it's cracking. I want to hear limbs up top snapping. I want to hear all that. So I've been running a chainsaw for 25 years and it's no excuse, but I just don't wear ear protection as much in that situation. So there you go. Comment below as to why I'm stupid. That'll be fine. But let's see if we can get this guy on the ground. Okay, so maybe the screen face shield would have been helpful right now. New chainsaw chain really kicks up the debris in the face. Well, that fell about 10 degrees off where I wanted it, and really worried that main fork was straddling that poplar tree right behind me. And fortunately, the fork was shorter than the distance from the stump to that poplar, so it didn't get hung. But I just saw that, like, that's gonna hang. You know what's crazy is, as I was felling that, just getting ready to make my back cut to release, driving my wedges in, stinking military helicopter flies over, and they fly over low. And in this valley, that sound reverberates, it shakes the whole ground, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? Is this the mother tree that's connected to my entire valley? And the hillside's gonna come down on me? And only when I stopped did I realize it was a helicopter, and he literally flew right over top of me. Okay, you jerk. But anyway, all right, now we're ready to get this thing bucked up to lengths, go get the tractor, and we'll drag it down to the mill. All right, as I've always promised on this channel, I'll share the bonehead mistakes too. So I got my saw pinched. And getting ahead of myself, I put my wedge in after doing a half top cut, sticking it in there so it should break clean. When I do the belly cut, it should make it break clean. Well, I didn't take the time to walk up and get my hatchet, which I should have hammered that wedge in better. I just dropped it in by hand. And then trying to leave a high end so I could get my chain around it real easy. I thought, well, I'll put a block in there to kickstand it so I can wrap my chain around easy. Well, that was stupid, because what happened as I did my belly cut and that set down, it squeezed that wedge up, just popped it right up like a fountain. And of course, kickstand brought these two pieces together, and now we've got a wedge. It's like Excalibur stuck there, so I'm not pure enough at heart to pull it out. So we're gonna go get another saw. All right, I know. You're thinking, what is Troy doing with a husky in his hand? I know, I feel kind of shameful holding it right now. It's kind of like taking your cousin to the movies. It's still a good time, but it just doesn't feel quite right. No, actually, thanks to my dad. My dad gave me his husky saw. He was done with it. He didn't want to have it anymore. So we'll see if we can cut this loose. Only the pure of heart can wield Excalibur. Methinks the husky is going to require a little bit of maintenance before she goes into service. I've seen beaver cut through that better. All right, I'm going to buck this log in half. One thing I've forgotten about BEECH is it absolutely weighs a ton. This stuff is so heavy. So we're going to cut this log into two and drag them out that way. Normally with this length being less than 25 feet, I could drag it out without any issues in the woods, but I don't think my tractor has the oomph, and as muddy as it is, I'd rather not trash my road. So we actually have a little knuckle right here. We're going to cut it out at that knuckle, so that should work too. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's one way to do it. Hey, Mr. Chairman, son. Muffin lives! All right, so I got the beech down there, the 2 logs that I wanted, and I'm back up here in the woods because I'm just going to push my luck with the rain here. But this little red oak that fell across the road, I just can't leave it. I've got my saw, got my tractor up here. It's like, it's just time. It's like it's calling me. It's like it really wants to become boards on the mill. I walked past it just a second ago and I thought I heard it say, "Come on, Daddy, please let me be beautiful. I just want to be beautiful once, Daddy." So I'm going to cut it up. We're going to drag it down. It'll probably start raining by then, but let's get it off the hill. All right, I don't know if my camera caught it. It actually died, ran out of battery. I'm glad my mama wasn't here. When she sees stumps stand up like that, that really makes her upset. A good friend of ours is killed that way, though. All right, she's loose. Let's get her off the hill. It's like a rear view mirror. That's not a bad idea. I'll edit most of this out, but I'm going to use this to keep an eye on.